on the cake. Icing on the cake, icing on the cake. Icing on the cake, icing on the cake.
It's your boy Seuss, man, the big podcast, not the little one, man. Icing on the cake. As you can see, man, we got one of the biggest guests of them all, if not the biggest one. You know what I'm saying? Hard work is paying off, as y'all can see. We got Jason Lee on here, man. If you can let the people know where you from and where you reside, man, to talk to the people, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Stockton, born and raised. I was born here in downtown Stockton, but raised on the south side. And yeah, I mean, it feels good to be able to sit down with somebody who's in the culture, because as everybody that knows the work that I do at Hollywood Unlocked, I'm a self-made boss, and decided to launch a company in media because I feel like, you know, in the world digests its entertainment and its news differently nowadays, and I feel like more black-owned, more black-owned versus black-targeted media companies are important. So I started Hollywood Unlocked, you know, when I moved to LA, but you know, here I am back home.
That's crazy, because I was just talking to my pops the other day about how people, you know, older people still go to the news for information, and the younger generation kind of focus more on the internet. So like, your show is more like the news to a lot of people. They going straight to Hollywood Unlocked to figure out, to get new information on whatever they looking for.
Yeah.
So what does growing up in Stockton mean to you? How do you talk to people when you're outside the city, when they ask you about what it's like growing up out here?
Yeah, you know, I mean, all I know is Stockton. I mean, my heart is here, my family's here, I'm born and raised here, I survived the streets. I, you know, didn't always have a life that everybody looks at now where, yo, he knows this person, he knows that person, he has this or that. I mean, I grew up poor.
Right.
I grew up poor. I grew up to a single mother who had, you know, a drug addiction. And I ended up in foster care. And after coming out of foster care, got shot, brother died, had a lot of different things happen in life that, you know, were not positive. But, you know, if you're a Stocktonian, you know this is a beautiful city. Right. And ultimately, there's a lot of heart in it. So I used all of my trials as things to motivate me to work hard. Because when you don't have nothing to fall back on, don't have nobody to fall back on, all you have is your hustle and all you have is your ability to survive. So I did that in the streets, and then now I'm doing it in my business, and that's why I'm successful. But, you know, whether it's me on Love and Hip Hop, whether it's me coming back and filming with, me on Wildin' Out, or me filming, bringing Love and Hip Hop here, or anywhere I go around the world, everybody knows my story here in Stockton. And I make sure that they know, because it's important, because of what it represents. And it's also important that when people see me on TV, or that they hear me in an interview, or they see me doing something, that they know, oh wow, he's from my hood, oh I could do it too, because I know I'm a symbol of what people can become.
It's an inspiration just knowing all that, because I watched Wildin' Now. I didn't see you on Love and Hip Hop. I didn't see you on
You saw the big Jason on Wildin' Out.
I seen all that, like literally didn't even know you was from Stockton until about 3-4 years ago. And I started my podcast about 2 years ago. My baby mama, my girl was at the time, she was like, yeah, you should inbox him. So I inboxed you about 2 years ago, asking if you can come and get on the podcast. So like right now, this is like a big moment for me. I ain't gonna lie, and it's very inspiring, because just to know that you from my city and you just started with a dream. And a lot of people don't understand that inspiration is the biggest form of, that's the biggest thing that I feel like you can do. And I feel like you coming back to Stockton right now, you already bringing an energy where people feel hopeful about something. And I think that's the biggest thing right now. People are feeling hopeful. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to know, like, what made you come
But let me pause there for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I launched a course helping people like you figure out how to make millions of dollars from doing it. It's called MediaMillionaires.com. So I'm going to give you access to the course for free so you can see it. So you see all the game, the millions of dollars worth of game that I spent millions of dollars figuring out through mistakes, lawsuits, this, that, whatever. I'll give you that so you can see it. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because everything you just said in that one sentence really is why I'm doing what I'm doing with the political stuff. Because, you know, people that are black and brown, people that are in this community, people that have given up, people who have lost hope, people who believe it's impossible, I literally want to show them it is. You got to work hard, you got to make good decisions. You ain't got to lose who you are, but you got to know who you are and decide to lock into what you want to do. You know, hope is something that got Obama elected as president. Hope is something that I got when I met Queen Latifah at the fair that led me down my path. That's why I have pictures on this wall. And I tell people the story of how the wall looks this way is, it isn't because I want everybody to see me with celebrities. It's because when I came out of foster care and I was in love with entertainment and celebrity culture, I used to rip pictures out of Word Up magazine and I used to put them on my wall. Now that I've had so many experiences on Love and Hip Hop, Wildin' Out, Wendy Williams Show, all over the world, different celebrity interviews and stuff, hosting Breakfast Club, on Drink Champs or whatever, Now my wallpaper is me.
Right.
And then it serves as inspiration when people come in and see the wall. I had a kid yesterday come in here. She's a foster kid. She goes, "You give me a lot of inspiration because I'm a foster kid." And I said, "You know what? Your story doesn't stop where you are right now. Like, you're eventually going to evolve into becoming who you are." So, we all have our reason why we do what we do. I have my reason why I started my show and my platform. You have your reason. And ultimately, once you decide to figure out your why, and then you figure out the how and you put in the hard work, everything is possible. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that somebody looks at what I do and has some hope. But the work continues and we continue to move it forward.
Okay. Yeah, I originally started the podcast just wanting to do it at first, just being, just something I felt like doing. But I started seeing the influence that it had on our people, like you said, just being able to sit right here and broadcast to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's so many people that really, like I said, no matter what they doing, sit in the house where they got some time to watch. And when I did the Ralph White interview, a lot of people was tuning in. And I said, you know what, I want to reach out to Jason also because, like I said, I'm doing this for our people. So I wanted to give you an opportunity. Now, you giving me an opportunity to give you a platform, but it's a blessing to me. But give you an opportunity for people that don't know what's really going on, because people don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But like I said, you came out here and stirred the pot, so people want to know. So, what's really your purpose going into it, and what made you come with the name I Am Ready?
Mm-hmm. The second, well, let me back up to one thing you said in terms of. People digesting their news differently. Recently, they did this article on me in Forbes, and they were talking to me about, becoming a mogul and dominating the media, launching healthcare initiatives, being able to work with folks at the White House and all this and that. Why? This is what's really important. When I created Hollywood Unlocked, first it was about stripping back the veil of Hollywood, letting people see access to their favorite stars. So whether you like Cardi B, whether you like Floyd Mayweather, or Blueface Krishan, or Anili Choppa, whenever I interviewed these people, I wanted you to be able to see them for who they are and allow them a platform to share their ideas. But then I started sharing it with Maxine Waters, with Karen Bass. I worked with Karen Bass, who was a congresswoman, to get somebody from this community, Dante Westmoreland, out of prison, who I felt was wrongfully incarcerated. So once I understood the power of the platform and the fact that people who are young, who are black and brown, or people who are in the culture who may not go to CNN or BBC or whatever, they digest the news differently. We started sharing what was happening with the world, taking elections away from the ability to vote away from people, women losing their rights to decide what they do with their body, LGBT and the trans movement, and people not understanding that marginalized group of people either. So now there are people who you may not do a lot of political interviews, but if it's related to the culture and it's the pulse of the culture is moving, then now you start to turn politics onto people who may not even know Democrat, Republican, whether to vote, whether there's an election. So I love the fact that as a culture disruptor, I continue to incorporate things in the culture that are really important to us and our people. I Am Ready was something that, for those folks that don't know, I created a nonprofit called Hollywood Cares Foundation. That is because there's a lot of people in Hollywood who care, but they don't know how to lend their platforms or their resources. Recently in Stockton, came to Sierra Vista, and we did a toy drive, a toy giveaway. It was called I Am Ready for Christmas, Toys for Joy. My friend Lemuel Plummer, who owns Zeus Network, donated thousands of dollars so we can provide toys, haircuts, food to 3,000 kids and their families, right? And Tiffany Haddish came down. She was Miss Claus, and she took pictures with all the families. That was through the I Am Ready initiative, which is what you're talking about. And that's just really helping to create programs and experiences for people to say, I am ready to be productive. I am ready to be positive. I'm ready for change. I'm ready for jobs. I'm ready to learn financial literacy. I'm ready to step up and get involved in politics. I'm ready to step up and help address the needs of my school. And so I Am Ready is something that really is about using the entertainment and creative arts as a creative bait to drawing kids into things that will help build them into being productive as part of the community. But this isn't anything new. We tried to do this 11 years ago, but Stockton wasn't ready. The Stockton politicians weren't ready. The Stockton developers weren't ready. The Stockton nonprofit community wasn't ready, because there's been a strategic oppression over people in this community for decades. And so it isn't anything new. It's just now it's so much louder and breaking through the noise in the city that has distracted us all from being able to move forward, because I'm a lot bigger because my platform is bigger, because I have my own money.
Resources.
You know, I have my own resources. I don't need them to give me anything. And so, you know, while it may seem new to people, there's certificates on the wall right here from Senate, Congress, and the Lieutenant Governor, who's now governor, back then, who acknowledged what we were doing. So as people are getting turned on to the work that we're doing, I'm just glad that everything that I've always committed to doing in my community is finally being able to come to life.
Okay. So what do you feel like, I ain't gonna say what your plans are, because I don't want you to make no promises to the people at Stockton.
No, you absolutely should ask me.
No, I want to know what your dreams are. What are your dreams?
You should ask me what my plans are, but here's the more important thing. Everybody should be asked what their plans are.
Okay.
This entire race, since I've come back to run as city council member for District 6 in Southside and Western Ranch, has been about people talking about things they've done, things they wish would happen. Superman ain't real, and we don't have no genie lamp to rub. Ain't no genie coming out to make things hopefully come to fruition, right? People who want to lead should lead and be focused on earning trust. When you earn trust, then you deliver on those promises, right? I can't come in and say, oh, I promise you that everybody watching is going to be a multimillionaire like me. I can't do that. Why? Because are you willing to outwork me? Are you willing to out-create me? Are you willing to out-partner me? I don't know. If you are, you might become a multimillionaire, right? What I can do is say, hey, you start a podcast, I'm gonna give you access to my courses for free, and you can learn all of that.
Hustle still.
And you got your hustle so differently, so separately, right? What I will say, you know, part of my plan just in looking at South Stockton, number one, first plan is you got to restore trust, because people don't trust nobody in politics, because the people here have burned a lot of the bridges and have burned the community's trust. Two, crime, homelessness, we see it's a problem. We all know, you know people in the streets like I know people in the streets, but you may not know the people at City Hall who have access to the funding and actually are responsible for the policing to actually address the issue. Right now, the city has, for one shift, for the entire city, they have 30 police officers. So when you put that in perspective, for 360,000 people, there's 30 police officers on any one shift. Even within that, there's issues of how the police have not been held accountable to community policing standards, how they partner with nonprofits of color to be able to help alleviate crime. There's poverty, so if I'm gonna starve tonight or rob somebody to eat, I get to make that choice. I'm not gonna starve. So poverty alleviation is something that people need to think about, but everybody that I've ran against has no plan to actually bring in outside partnerships, create ways and pathways to funding some of these ideas they have. But on the opposite end of that, we've actually come to the table and said, here's the people we want to bring to Stockton, here's the resources, here's the programs, here's the readiness that we want to instill in young people, and the young people we want to make a priority. And that's why I think a lot of people are gravitating to our campaign and actually focused on, getting ready for us to win in a week.
But what about, okay, look, there's pros and cons to everything. Because I know you got the resources, the money. What about the people, even for me? Because like I said, I don't know about the politics, but one thing I do know is experience. You don't feel like experience matters as far as, because like you said, I do feel like you have the energy going towards winning, because you got the people behind you as far as the energy, the inspiration. But what about the people that feel like once you get in position, that you might know what to do once you get in position?
Tomorrow I'm going to be doing Piers Morgan's show. That is the biggest show in all of the United Kingdom, which is one of the biggest countries in Europe, right? There's somebody that would see this interview and say, Jason, why are you doing an interview with him? He ain't experienced. He's not the Breakfast Club. That ain't Noriega and Drink Champs. That ain't Piers Morgan. You're bigger than that. You talk to CNN. You go to the White House. Why would you sit with him? Okay, ask yourself that question. Why am I sitting with you? You ain't experienced enough.
Hold on, man. Hold on. You got to spit some game to me on icing on the cake.
This is not game. I literally asked you your question.
You giving some good pointers.
So my question is, somebody watching would say, wait a minute, I've been following your career for 8 years. Why you give him free access to your course when I've been a day one fan? What did he do to earn that free course? Make him pay for it just like I pay for everything. Nobody gave me nothing, okay? So when people say to me, what makes you qualified? That's a distraction to join the circus. I don't have clown paint. I ain't about to dance for nobody. I'm serious about my city. I'm serious about the direction the city deserves to go. I'm serious about the quality of life. And when you look at everybody that you have in front of you, the city should be asking, why aren't there 5 Jasons to actually choose from? Why is there only one viable candidate that's actually proven himself, that's done the work, that has no reason to come back, who's already made it out? The streets that are unsafe, the streets that are crowded with homeless, the streets that ain't got no jobs. Why is he coming back to help us? That's the first question I would ask. But that's the distraction that y'all have bought into. Why? How is he qualified? Let me ask you this. Would you hire somebody to work at your business who ran it in the ground?
Oh.
Okay, so did Ralph White do anything to build this city for you?
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what his job entitles to say what he's supposed to do or what he
so let me
don't.
ask you a question. Did you see my documentary that I put out called Surviving Ralph White?
I did.
Okay, would you live in that house?
I ain't gonna lie. I didn't lived in bad situations before.
I'm asking you today, because unless you're here to start talking about how you want to keep living in bad situations, you're not interviewing me or DM me. You say you sent me messages how long ago?
Like 2 years ago.
So 2 years ago, were you trying to interview me to ruin your life even more, or to ruin your podcast even more, or see your podcast be the same? No, you interviewed me because I'm the GOAT. You interview me because just like I go and become friends with Floyd Mayweather, I don't want to know the second best boxer. I want to know the first best boxer, the best ever. So let's stop playing around, right? You do not want to live in a house where you and your children, you have kids?
Yeah.
Do you want your kids to ingest mold?
I don't.
Do you want them to live with rats and roaches?
I don't.
Do you want them to live in an apartment building with pedophiles who are on the registry list? Okay, well then you don't want to live in Ralph White's property. So when you ask me, do I want somebody who has experience? Yeah, you should have experience at building businesses so you can teach other people like you how to build your business into a multi-million-dollar brand instead of a startup. If you want to know somebody that has a plan to stop crime, maybe you talk to somebody who's been shot, who watched his brother get murdered. So it's a real lived experience that doesn't come as rhetoric for a campaign. I don't need to earn more money. I'm already rich. I don't need to be more famous because you DM'd me 2 years ago. You knew me before I knew you.
Right.
So why I say I don't play around with the circus is because if I put on the paint, then who's the clown?
Right.
I don't have time to entertain that. What I'd like to entertain is the family who's still trying to figure out who ran over their 14-year-old kid, Jalen, who was found in a ditch. And the reason why the city has no sophisticated policing where there could at least be cameras capturing crime when you can't find the bodies to go work at the police department. Those are real solutions that take somebody with optics that have been around the world to see that people who look like us, like in Dubai, where everybody's our color and they are wealthy, but everybody in our community here that looks like us are not.
I had
Right?
ran this by one of my partners. I said, bro, what if everybody that was on welfare had to get like a Ring camera that came with, part of the welfare package? And he said, man, we don't be wanting people we don't want cameras and stuff in the head. So this is what I'm saying. I seen an interview where you were saying that we're gonna start having more police in the neighborhoods and stuff. But do you feel like people are behind you, but at the same time, do you feel like once these things are getting put into place for these good things that people could turn on you? Because that's how we are. We don't like the police, but we want protection. we want better stuff.
Here's what we have to stop doing. We have to stop trying to serve two devils, right? We like this idea, but don't like the outcome. We don't like this idea, but we need the outcome. We have to decide what type of community that we want, right? I don't believe that policing in itself is the solution, okay? Because I've been on all sides of this conversation, right? I've been in the streets and I've been out the streets. I've been an entrepreneur and I've been somebody who probably stole once or twice as a kid. I believe that in a city with Stockton being 300-something thousand people, 360,000 people, 30 police officers on a shift is outrageous. And it ain't even a matter of whether or not you need 3,000 police. The city already has a plan to hire another 145 police. They just can't get them. But I'll say this, do I think that the city needs more police? Absolutely. Do I think the police department needs more accountability? Absolutely. Do I think there should be an investment in black and brown organizations who help alleviate crime? Absolutely. Do I think that there should be poverty alleviation to create jobs so people don't have to choose whether or not they rob, steal, or kill instead of having something to fight for? Yes. Should we have things for kids to do so they're not out joining gangs, getting in fights, killing, hurting people? Yes. So there's no one, it's a multi-layer solution. But absolutely, what I say, when I got shot in 1995, did I call my homie to come get me? No, we called 911.
Right.
And anybody here, whether they black, brown, white, polka dot, Asian, Philip, whatever you are, if you tell me somebody
Everybody called 911 before.
Okay, so what we're gonna stop doing is stop playing. Again, the questions have to be, what type of world do you wanna live in? If you think that it's okay for people to just fly in your neighborhood and shoot you, then that's the world you want to live in. But then go join the army so you can run in neighborhoods and shoot people all day long. But nobody wants to do that. If you ask me, do I want a community where my nieces and nephews can't go play in a park because it's homelessness, crack, it's people in there doing different violent things, or sex offenders and Ralph White properties across the street? Do I want that? Absolutely not. So I have to decide as a leader, once I put my face out there and I win, what commitment am I making to people? I'm making it to the people watching. I'm making it to you for your children. I'm making it to my family. And what I say is we have to all work together to figure out how to alleviate crime. That involves the police, that involves community-based organizations, that involves healthcare service, but also involves the people in the streets. Because there's nobody right now committing crimes, at least that I know, that want to do it, right? I don't think there's anybody that says, I want to wake up today and just go kill everybody. They already had a serial killer here, they caught them. But I think that when you give people no hope, you give people no options or alternatives, you give people no accountability, you give people no feeling or sense of security or safety, that's going to be the result. And this city has done a great job of underinvesting in South Stockton, a great job in underinvesting in Black and Brown, and that's why the city's done a great job at hurting each other. And look, I'm not Superman, so I can't promise that, on March 6th, if I get elected, everything's going to change. It's a process. You gotta engage the community, but we're all going to have to be a part of that solution.
Okay, all right. Kind of the jump to say, it's kind of like in the same topic, because I feel like entertainment is big in our community. With Stockton being one of the hottest, to me, I think Stockton is the hottest place when it comes to music, but we don't have like a hub. Do you feel like you can use the music, the entertainment out here to try to help push your movement as far as positivity?
Well, I mean, I've had artists from here reach out to me as Hollywood Unlocked, Jason, to say, hey, can you help me here and there? I think for me, it really is all about like what that artist represents, right? I was head of media and partnerships for Kanye West. I know every major artist in the world, and I knew Drake before he was Drake to the world, right? Those people are business-minded people. They're not choosing one foot in and one foot out. You can't be in this city causing harm to the city and then say you want to be an artist that's respected on a national commercial level, because it's a business, right? Music business. The business side of it ain't got time for all that other distracting stuff, because no label, nobody, not even me, want to invest in anybody who's going to end up just going off to prison. Like, we need you to tour, because people make money in music by touring, not by doing records, right? Now, am I willing to use my platform? Yeah. On March 29th, I'm going to be doing Stockton's Got Talent, launching that here. But that's for the young people who are 13 to 19 to come and display their talents. The winner is going to get $5,000. They're going to get featured on Hollywood Unlocked. And if they're music artists, they'll get a session in the studio with a major producer. But you know what? That's going to be people who actually come down and break their ass to be able to win. And being lackluster or mediocre is not an option. And I'm going to be somebody who's going to be one of those judges to tell you what I think, right? Because nobody handed me anything. I fought hard to get all of what I got, and I used my God-given talent to be able to do so. And that's what I want people to know. Like, there are no handouts. Even when I met Floyd, the first thing he said to me was, being number one is a mentality. It's not a fact. Your mind has to be sharp. When I went to work for Kanye, he said, your mind is as sharp as German steel. Don't get in your own way. But this is somebody who I saw get in his own way. So at the end of the day, it has to be about how intently you are focused on becoming the best. Look at how I ran this campaign. I didn't come out here and get distracted by the clowns. I came out here and stayed focused on the people.
Do you ever feel like you sitting in rooms that you not supposed to be in, but you feeling like, okay, I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm supposed to be here?
You know who that is right there?
Okay.
I mean, just for the people. Just a little flex. You know who that is right there?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the president and the vice president, right? Some people can say, I hate Joe Biden, I hate Kamala Harris, and that's cool. You reserve the right. That's democracy. You get to vote, not vote. I may or may not vote for them. It's my choice, right? But little Jason, who was on Park and Sutter Street or Scribner, or sneaking into the fair, or stealing from the flea market, or walking to McKinley Park, or swimming at Oak Park, he would have never thought he'd be at the White House with the president. He never thought he'd be sitting having coffee, helping the vice president understand how to connect to the culture, right? Because nobody told him it was possible. I've now lived it and know it's possible. So when I was at the White House for Christmas and I was taking a video in the Red Room in my red Alexander McQueen suit, I was telling all the Black and brown kids, like, yo, you can actually work hard to become eligible to be invited repeatedly to the White House. Not because it's a privilege to necessarily be in the White House, but it is a privilege as somebody who can go in the White House, which is the house that houses the most powerful person in the world, that was built by slaves, whose servants were black, are now walking up to me as I go and eat my food or drink my eggnog and says, Jason Lee with the T, I watch your show, right? What I'm showing people is, in spite of all of the bullshit, you can do whatever you want to do, including making it out the hood and then coming back to help them without an agenda, without needing anything other than just being of service. Because this is our city too. Right now, black and brown people don't feel like it's our city. We say it's our town,
For sure.
but we don't feel like, yo, wait, we have a right to live. Like, we have a right for our kids to learn how to read. We have a right to be able to walk down the street without somebody feeling like we're target practice.
Right.
And, you know, I just feel like what I love about what you said at the onset of the interview was, yo, you came and you created all this energy. That's good, because guess what? Because of what I'm doing, somebody out there is gonna go, yo, I could do that too. They may do it better than me. I want everybody to be better than me.
Shit, I'm 35 years old, bruh. And I asked you that question because I literally was sitting in here yesterday and I'm looking at the people coming in and out the room. I'm like, damn, it's, you know, people, they probably got more college experience than half of my life, right? Then I'm looking at the pictures. I didn't even see the picture with the president. I'm like, damn, like, this is one of them situations for me where I feel like I'm in a room that I'm not supposed to be, but I'm supposed to be. And you gave me this opportunity, so I feel real inspired. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm not cutting interviews short, I don't know, but I just had to say that. I literally had to say that though.
But
like,
let me
for
ask
real,
you,
for real, though.
why you got tears in your eyes right now?
Because like I said, it's you know, sometimes you'll want something, but you don't really believe it's possible. And then when it happens, you like, damn, now I feel like the sky the limit type
But
shit.
here's the deal, right? When I first started Hollywood Unlocked, one of my goals, well, first of all, Oprah said, if you find yourself in a room, you belong there. And then I have a picture up here with Oprah, and it was a day where Oprah said she wasn't taking no pictures with nobody. And I was like, the hell you not? You gonna take a picture with me? Because if we're from Stockton, we know what the hustle in Stockton is. We gonna make it happen. So I waited for her to walk by, and as soon as she got there, I said, Oprah. She turned, I took a picture. She said, now that's how you get your picture. She said, if you find yourself in a room, you belong there. When I walked up to the president in that suit, and he said to me, hold on, nice fucking suit. I said, you said that last year I was here. He said, and I meant it. I go, no, you didn't. He goes, yes, I did. I go, well, at least you know who's the best dressed at your party. You know, I talked to the president of the United States, who talks to every world leader the same way I'm talking to you. Why? Because he ain't no better than me, and I ain't no better than you. And people watching have to understand that this is not a campaign conversation. This is literally any conversation you ever have with me ever, this is who I am. The reason why I chose to do your show, and it's interesting because I did see you posted me today, and you said, I can't believe this, I did this 2 years. I see everything, right? Maybe I didn't see your thing 2 years ago, but maybe you weren't ready to do it 2 years ago, or maybe I wasn't in a place to do it 2 years ago. What I know is that when I started Hollywood Unlocked, one of my biggest ideas of what I wanted to do, and I don't know if it's anywhere behind me, is I wanted to be on The Breakfast Club. It's somewhere in here. Oh, right here I got a picture with me and Angela and them. But I have multiple times. Now I've co-hosted The Breakfast Club several times. And before I decided to run for city council, I was talking to Charlamagne about being the third host on The Breakfast Club. But then I thought, do I want to go and host The Breakfast Club and be there every day? Or would I rather go home and invest in finding the people who can be inspired by my story? What I want people to realize is, regardless of how they see me on Zeus Network, Love and Hip Hop, Wild 'N Out, whatever, I'm a Stocktonian. I'm a GED holding, no college degree having entrepreneur who's built a $50 million company and still growing person who wants to see other people thrive. It's hard to believe because we live in a crab and barrel mentality where everybody who look like us want to be the only one. Why? Because you become more valuable to your culture when you share it with everybody else. I literally held a forum here with Tiffany Haddish in Western Ranch, flew home, and the next day hosted the red carpet at the Grammys. The only black-owned media company with a built-out set between Billboard, hey Christina from Billboard, and People Magazine. And nobody looked at me like, oh, he black. They knew I'm black, but they also know that's Jason Lee. And you know what? He belonged there because he's Jason Lee. No, I belong there because I wanted to be there. And anybody watching that wants to be wherever they have decided they want to be, deserve to be there. But you have to have a city that has $913 million believe that black and brown people deserve to be invested in the same way everybody else. And the thing that I think is the most exciting part about winning, because I'm gonna win, is that you're gonna have somebody up there that's gonna make people like you start paying attention. And when you start paying attention, like you saw yesterday, you sat here and started seeing all these different people come in, because you see them, they different, it's different cultures, races, this, that, whatever. They're gonna get this when I get there. I'm not gonna turn into this.
I seen that yesterday too. I seen that.
How I talk to them.
Same way.
It is what it is. So guess what? It's gonna usher in new blood. It's gonna usher in, and then when your kid sees you, the real pride you gonna feel is when you see the people under you go, damn, I wanna be like that. That shit feels good. Like I love meeting people, and when I met you yesterday, I felt like to be in Stockton, create a show, and I did see your interview with Ralph, and I thought it was great because you were talking to him the way we talk to each other. That's what makes you different than everybody else. And that's what makes me different than everybody else, because I look at Breakfast Club and they used to do it the way I'm doing it now, and now I'm doing it the way they used to do it, but I'm doing it my way. And it's gravitating because the people just want to know what's going on.
Right.
And for you, you're doing that, and you just got to keep going, and you're going to look back and somebody's going to be saying the same thing to you that you said to me, and it's going to be like full circle.
It's crazy. Like, somebody really inboxed me like, Sush, you always being messy. I'm like, man, I'm not being messy by just seeing what's going on. And I'm not saying, I'm just informing my people, and that's why I feel inspired by you, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You checking on something. Okay, well, let me get involved in. Whether I win or not, even though your mentality is to win, and you gonna win, I believe because you got no energy and people get behind that. As long as you don't do no fake or fries, you know what I'm saying, to do which you got nothing but pure intent, which I see you coming into it. That's why I feel like you guys may not have the same motive in the end, but I feel like you guys came in with the intent to help. Mm-hmm. I gotta ask this question.
Sure.
Is there any type of way that you and Ralph White have any type of
here's the deal. I'm going to work with everybody in the community that is working to move the community forward. I told this story earlier. When I grew up, I was friends with Ralph's son, Rodney, who died. My brother's name, Rodney, who died, right? I grew up going to Ralph's house. He said that on your show, and that was all true, right? Even when I decided to run, I called Ralph first to give him the respect to say, hey, you're our elder. You've done it before. I do plan to run. And he said, nobody knows me. Literally, as we're talking, somebody drove by and said, love you, Jason Lee. I'm like, Ralph, I'm not the little kid in the hood that used to come to your house and have your housekeeper cook burritos for him. I'm somebody who has more money than you, who has more visibility than you, who's more relevant now with this generation than you, who has fresh ideas, but also who wants to see the city thrive, and I want to work with you. Ralph was okay with that until I put his store in the video. And I called South Square Market a monument of murder. Why? Because back in 1997, when my friend Stephen Shelton got murdered there, and my friend Denzel killed him, he already did his time and got out, so I'm not snitching, right? We all know what happened over the dice game. That moment for me that I wrote in my book was a moment I never forgot, but it ain't the only time somebody that we all know got killed up there, right?
Grand Save used to be worse. Remember Grand Save that was out there?
I got shot across the street from Grand Save and a man got killed there. I'm not talking about it as conversation. I lived all this, right? Yeah. My point is, I'm talking about South Square Market. How long you lived in Stockton?
My whole life, 35
What
years.
was South Square Market called before that?
I don't know.
Ralph Square Market. Because Ralph White owns it. His name has been on that thing that's benefited him for years. Everybody that's died there, he's never paid for a funeral. He's never sent a prayer or flowers. When his nephew just got murdered, my friend LaFell's son, the first thing I did, even in the midst of the campaign and being attacked, I sent Ralph flowers, and I called him to say, Ralph, I'm calling you as a human being to say, I'm sorry for your loss. He didn't even want to talk about it. He wanted to talk about campaign signs. So there was no heart in that. He's not had no heart for the South Side area for a long time. But growing up in the hood, when you see that big white house, you think that's goals. But when you understand that that's the only person in the hood with the big white house, you know that everybody, when you get your big white house, and I got big houses, everybody deserves to get a big white house. And it may not white, but it may not be that big, but they should know that Sierra Vista should be a place you should thrive to live until you can get your own home somewhere else, and it can be on the South Side, right? But yeah, I think for me, would I be able to work with Ralph? I'm gonna work with everybody. If you're a slumlord, you're probably gonna go to jail. Because if you're hurting people, whether you're black or white or city hall or in the community, You don't deserve to prosper. And I'm going to tell you why. When you go home and you talk to your kids, you have a boy or girl?
Both.
When you go back and talk to your kids, boy or girl, you're going to teach your daughter, don't let no man take advantage of you. Don't ever degrade yourself or minimize yourself for no man or nobody. Whether you're black or white, you deserve to be the best. That's what you're going to pour into her.
Right.
As a young man, hopefully you're going to tell your son, you know what? In some respects, be a better man than me. Don't treat your girl bad. You should be able to live past 16. I never thought I'd be past 25. You're going to be pouring life into them. But until your kid gets shot like me at 15, till your kid watches his brother or sister die at 19 like me, they're not going to have the feelings of the world that I had growing up. And what I know for sure is every kid, including me, my brother Rodney, his son Rodney, deserve to live a longer life. And Ralph Square Market, Southside Market, whatever you want to call it, has always been a place where people have gotten killed. So why not have a clinic there? Why not have a healthy grocery store? Why not have a park where there's flowers and trees and murals and culture where people can go and play? Why has McKinley Park got $16 million and no open pool, but homeless tents and no playground? Why are you allowing little kids who look like yours to walk around South Stockton like they're in a third world country and not understand they deserve better? Your kids have not been to Dubai yet, where little black and brown kids are walking around with luxury and opulence because their families, all of which look like us, are rich. We were in the airport one time and my friend said, man, everybody over here black and brown. I said, ain't that amazing? He said, everybody over here rich. I said, ain't that amazing? We're not conditioned to believe unless we taking it from somebody that look like us that we can get it and pour back into us. Ralph can put together the most beautiful parades, but we still walking around poverty. We should be walking around wealth, prosperity, and pathways to being better, living better, eating better.
Inspired.
And if we're not doing that, what are we doing? And that to me it's not necessarily just about Ralph, because Ralph has done a lot of good things, right? And he's done things that aren't good. But it's not just about him, it's about all of us. And this is what I will say to people. Everybody around you, black, brown, old, young, been here forever, just moved in from the Bay. We all have to take back our block. We all have to take back our community, because ultimately, nobody that doesn't look like us is making us a priority at all. And I do believe, again, I'm not Superman. So what I've tried to do in this campaign is go meet with everybody from community-based organization to police, fire, to city official, but also I've been in the hood talking to people too. And I know that even the people that are considered gang members, they don't want to die and they don't want their kids to be raised with them in prison. So I got to make sure that when I'm fighting at City Hall, I'm not just fighting to end crime, that I'm going to the people that they're trying to target to be a part of the solution. And you know, we're going to get it together. But yeah, am I willing to work with Ralph or anybody? Of course. But are they willing to work with me? Because I'm not going to fold on my commitment. Right. When I tell you that this is what I stand on, I'm going to stand on it 10 toes down. And everybody that know me know I'm not worried about nothing.
I mean, you said when I asked you about the qualifications, do you feel like you qualified? And you asked, you reverse a question on me. I'm sitting here thinking, I may not be experienced in something, but I have enough experience to know where to go get the knowledge that I need all the time. So if I don't know something, I know people that know something. Yeah. And I feel like people are missing that too, though. When you say you got resources, it's not just about money. You
did something that most people don't do. You set out to get something 2 years ago, and you didn't give up and you got it. That reaffirms that if you keep going, no matter what you want, you're going to get it. The second thing you did as a young black man, you're young because you're younger than me, even though you're old. He old, y'all, he old, but he young, is you cried. We afraid to be vulnerable. It's okay, because you know what? We're all exhausted. We're all exhausted. I have family members. We joke about it because we're at a place where we can, but we all been through crazy shit individually. We running this campaign to make our community better, and we're thinking about how people would judge us based on what we've been through. But guess what? Everybody watching been through something. I don't care who you are from the South Side. We have been through things. And that's why what I do love about what Ralph did do, because this is what I will say, where people would think, people were mad at Ralph posting videos about me. I wasn't mad, because that's who I am. That is who I am. That's what I've done. That's what I've been through. Now, that one post he took from Twitter, that wasn't me. He tried it. But you know what? Here's the deal. In my world, I laughed at it because it's like, you went to the slums of trying to show the worst of me to people who are always afraid to show those sides of themselves. Everybody should understand something. When I'm talking to the President of the United States, when I shake that man's hand, that man literally has shook the hand of every world leader. He literally can put that hand on the button that can blow up the world. When I shake his hand, he's shaking his hand from somebody from South Scribner. He's shaking the hand of somebody who can pick up the phone and talk to Cardi B, Rihanna, or Madonna at any point, but also can go in the hood and sit down and break bread with people who are afraid to die. Wait, but hold on, but let me say something. Let me say something. Because the videos that were posted on social media to embarrass me actually empowered people who say, yo, that's wrong. We can't be hurting people. And guess what? It never hurt me. I went right on and ate my meals, went right on and made my meals, and continued to do the campaign because ultimately, nobody cares about my day job. You know, my day job is entertainment. This political process has been entertaining. You know what's gonna be even more entertaining? When I'm sitting up there with all them people who got all their education, all their endorsements and all that, and I'm saying, hold on a minute, y'all better stop playing, because the hood done pulled up. And this is what we gotta do for South Stockton. And you know what? I'm not gonna treat South Stockton like the hood. I'm gonna treat them like Brookside.
Right.
And I'm gonna make sure that the parks and that the community thrives like Brookside. And that's what I'm gonna do. And guess what? I've already said I'm gonna donate my whole salary to the kids on the South Side so they don't have mixed match helmets and their parents don't have to, you know, do things in order for them to be able to play sports. Why? Why not? I get more when I give more. That's my mentality. And everything I've done, my award show I started. When I started my award show, the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards, and we've honored everybody from Mariah Carey to Floyd to Lizzo to the Babyface, whatever. When we would have that carpet, it would be filled with black press, people, and you should come, and I'm gonna tell you right now in front of everybody, make my commitment, June 21st, if you wanna get on the red carpet and go to the award show so you can report live, interview celebrities, see it, and actually be in the world of it, that's my commitment, you can. When I did that award show and all the press would line up on the red carpet, you know what my team said? Okay, so when they're done, are they gonna leave? I said, no, they're gonna come in. They're gonna come in, they're gonna eat, they're gonna watch the award show, they're gonna go to the after party, they're gonna be able to walk up and talk to everybody. Why? Because it's gonna make them go back and work hella harder. Because the more of us that are on carpets, the more of us that are getting these interviews, the more of us that are competing with them, we start to balance the playing field where, look, yo, hold on. We pulling up for each other. Me pulling up for you is important because you deserve to be where I am. You deserve to have your mural. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna teach that to somebody else. And I'm gonna also say this, and I'll end with this. I started Hollywood Unlocked at 37. Put that in perspective. If you're 36, I started all this at 37 with nothing but a room this big, $100, and a stupid reality show called Love and Hip Hop. I wasn't in love with a Crip or otherwise, and I didn't know much about hip hop. Shout out to Wu-Tang, best hip hop group ever. But I had a lot of heart, I had determination, I had that Stockton hustle in me, and I had that drive. And I said, you know what? I'm never going to let anybody put me back in the shithole that drugs put my mother in. And guess what? Now I can fly my friends all over the world. I flew 19 of my friends to Greece for my birthday last year. And when we get done with this, I'm flying my whole team to Aruba to get away from this madness so we can enjoy life. And so people can start to see that, yo, I deserve better. You deserve better. And you're going to get more. And I appreciate you as much as you keep saying, oh, thank you for, pulling up. Thank you for giving me the platform to show people in Stockton that one of their own made it. And one of their own is going to make sure that one of our own gets to experience something that you've never experienced, but only if you feel the obligation to pass it on, because you got to pass it on too. And watch, you'll get more richer. And I ain't talking about money, because the money, if you focus on the money, you're going to be broke. If you focus on the passion, the drive, the determination, the thing that's the why behind what you're doing, you're going to get everything you want. Just pass it on to other people, because they deserve to live this life too.
Man, that's for sure, man. I appreciate the opportunity. Like I said, man, just something that I wanted. Like I didn't think it was possible, and it happened for me today. And you continuously inspiring our people out here. Like I said, I got on Facebook and it was Jason Lee. I'm like, damn, what's going on? Oh, he running? What the hell? That's just something you woke up and you put your mind to, and here we is having a conversation about it. And I think you got a good opportunity to make that happen. And I hope that you take the opportunity and make the most of it for our people, because it is a lot of things and a lot of hope out here for our young people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I appreciate this opportunity, and hopefully the people that's tuned in take this as inspiration. I'm one of the people that's been inspired by the people I inspired. There's been times I wanted to give up and people told me I inspired them and shit. And at that moment, I became inspired by them.
Yeah.
And it worked like that sometimes. So, like I said, man, it's your boy Seuss, man. The big podcast, not the little one, man. Whew. Another one like the other one. Stupid.
Yeah, and this ain't Big Jason no more. I lost all that weight. It's still Big Jason in the world of media, but I'm little Jason now. Nah, man, and look, when I get elected, because I'm going to win, that's my mentality. I'm going to win. Pull up when I'm elected. I want to keep doing interviews like this when I'm in office. I think the thing that made Obama so relatable and so cool was we knew what was on his podcast. We knew what he was doing. We knew him. And I want people to know me because, again, there are going to be policy decisions. There are going to be all types of experiences that people aren't going to like or aren't going to understand. But as long as they pull up and be a part of the process and you're leading it, we build together. So, yeah, I'll pull up again.
I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you.
I really appreciate it, man. For real, man.
Peace.
Icing on the cake, icing on the cake. Icing on the cake, icing on the cake. Icing on the cake, icing on the cake.